Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data, and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Well, I had the best time at the Pachanga in Temecula. The crowd was amazing. I loved the theater, and I'm so excited to be coming next to the Hard Rock in Tampa, everybody. And that is one show, one night only, Thursday, June 20th. And then we are off to the Plaza Live Theater in Orlando, Florida, Friday, June 21. Everything is at heathermcdonald.net. Then we have Humphreys by the Bay in San Diego, July 27th. And then Dallas, Austin, and Houston in August. Everything is at heathermcdonald.net. Get those tickets. They will sell out, and meet and greets are available for every single one. Okay, guys, I'm a little bit shaking because coming here was an adventure for me to come record this show. So Brandon was driving me so that I can prepare even more because I have so much Juicy Scoop to deliver today. And all of a sudden, he goes, "Oh my God." And I get nervous. I'm looking at my phone. I think we're about to get in an accident. He sees something horrible. No. He's like, "Jojo Siwa." So she's going down Ventura Boulevard. And I'm like, we got to follow her. And it is, a lot of people have seen that she has a wrapped Tesla with her name all over it. She now has a wrapped Lamborghini SUV dedicated to her hit song, Karma's a Bitch. So we started following her. Now, this is very close to in my neighborhood. This is minutes from my house. And I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. So I'm filming it, and he takes his phone, and we start blasting Karma's a Bitch. But this is a single highway type of situation. So otherwise I would have come to the side of her and waved and let her know I'm playing her song, because I know she wants people to know her song. So anyway, then we get to where her house is, and she pulls in. Now, I'm not going to go on her property, but I'm like, I live in the neighborhood. I'm just going to act like I'm a mom walking who runs into her. So I start walking, and I'm like, "Jojo!" And she goes, "Oh, hey." And I go, "It's Heather McDonald from Juicy Scoop." And then she just slammed the door. And it was like, it wasn't too far from her gate, which her house is gated, and her front door. I don't know if she heard the Juicy Scoop part, but yeah. So I don't know. She wasn't as into it as I thought. And, but it was an exciting morning. And this is a day in the life of chasing the scoop as an investigative pop culture expert/comedian that I am. And I'm bringing it to you guys all the time. But I thought she'd be excited to see me, being that she has a car wrapped up in her name, two of them, one with just her name and one with her hit song. So I thought she'd be excited that I talk about her incessantly. Weight loss is never easy. It's always a journey. You go up, you go down. Everyone has a story, but that is why I'm so excited to tell you about RHONJ, because RHONJ provides access to the most popular weight loss shots on the market. The RHONJ Body Program pairs a weekly shot with healthy lifestyle changes so you can lose 15 to 20% of your weight in a year on average and actually keep it off. That's what is so exciting. Go to rhonj.co/juicy scoop. Sign up today and you'll pay just $99 for your first month and $145 a month after that. Medication costs are separate. Oh my God, another prediction, you guys, of mine. Is it a full prediction? I don't even know anymore. Obviously, you're going to be like, "Heather, we all thought that." I'm quite shocked. Hilaria Baldwin and her husband, Alec Baldwin, are going to have a reality show on TLC. This, to me, this is like really bottom of the barrel. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. The reason he was doing these movies, in which one resulted in horrific tragedy, death, because they are not huge budget, and he would have to, sometimes he was the producer on them. we'll get into that, what's going on right now with the trial of the tragic death of the Rust movie, was because he's one of these guys that had 6 kids, or 7, is it 7? All 7 kids. After he turned 50, he had 7 kids with Hilaria. And, he didn't even know that she grew up in Boston. He thought she grew up in Spain until we all talked about it and realized that she didn't. That was 6 kids. Then another one came. Anyway, we all know the story of Hilaria about how do you say cucumber? And that she just decided to tell the world that she actually was Spanish and came from Spain when she grew up in Boston, went to college there. And I mean, there's so much to the story, and we've talked a lot about it on Juicy Scoop. But in their video to promote their show, they're doing that. Oh, aren't they a sassy, funny couple? And he's sitting there, and she goes, stand up straight. I don't want to look taller than you. We're going to have a reality show. Yes, we are. And she's kind of getting out of the accent. A lot of people in the comments were like, wait, where's the accent? I think that she is not going to push that at all. But if she's been talking like this for 15 years, I don't know that we're going to see the accent go in and out. Maybe TLC figures enough people will watch it just to try to catch her going in and out of the accent and continuing to cosplay that she has a whole nother identity. I don't know. But the kids are all running around, and it's just so sad, on so many levels. When he was married to Kim Basinger, he was so angry now this was another, Kim Basinger even lived closer to my childhood home, which, I bought the house next door to my parents. She lived up the street before she married him. Then she married Alec, and she brought home Ireland Baldwin to her house. And that is where he was so angry that the paparazzi followed him home, and he put whipped cream or shaving cream all over the paparazzi's window of his car because he was parked across the street trying to get any image of them coming home from the hospital. He hated the paparazzi. He beat up the paparazzi. He hated them. And then, of course, there was the time that then they were going through a tumultuous divorce, which, again, I saw the 2 of them with their daughter at a play place when she was about 8, and I was with my niece and nephew. And then they get a divorce, and as teenagers do, I guess the daughter maybe she had plans, maybe she had a slumber party. She didn't, even though it was her dad's time to see her, whatever. She, in his opinion, blew her off. And that's where he left the famous voicemail of calling his daughter a little pig who was 13. And Kim Basinger released it to let the world know he was such a dick because they were going through custody battles and everything. Ireland now has a good relationship with her stepmom, Hilaria, and a great relationship with her dad, apparently. She was part of his roast and made fun of that voicemail and everything. But obviously, it's just weird that now you're going to put all 7 kids, they're all being featured, we're all going to know what they look like on a major TV show that on a network that just takes people and families that are desperate for a living, whether it's Kate plus 8. What was that? Originally it was Kate plus 8, but before that it was called whatever. Before they got divorced, then it was Kate plus 8. The Little People, all of those shows. There's people on TLC that, out-daughtered. I get it. I get if somebody had sextuplets, or in the case of, Kate plus 8, you have all these kids and you're like, how am I going to afford it? This is a working actor. Now, maybe he feels at this point, this way I can stay home with my kids. I can't really do movies anymore. I'm still facing charges, which that whole case is disturbing. The latest is the convicted Rust armorer, who is the young woman. Prosecutors want her to testify at Alec Baldwin's trial. They do. The prosecutors want her to because it would hurt his case. She does not want to because she feels her testimony would hurt her appeal because she has been convicted of putting the real ammunition in the gun, But the question is, did he actually shoot it or not, or point it? Because whether there's fake ammunition or real ammunition, what he did was also a no-no on set. So that's where that gets. And so then as this comes out, we're going to have this fun show where we talk about, making, Spanish flan dessert. I don't know. But I just think it's weird that you're going to, as an actor, who always cried for privacy, is now going to expose your minor children who have no say in this. I'm curious if, being this a TV show, are these kids each getting a salary every time they appear in an episode? Because this is cable, is this no residuals? How much are they making off of this? And are they protecting their kids as if they were on a Disney show that is SAG-AFTRA? Is this SAG-AFTRA? That's my other question. Because the new Illinois is the only state that is now insisting that minors who are being used for content in which their parents are making money on social media, they are to be entitled to that money that is earned. And a lot of these now adults that were raised against their will on family YouTube shows and things are speaking up and telling their stories of what it was like to see their mom. Some of these people weren't even, like, the parents didn't even make money. They're just coming out and being like, my mom got into Facebook and talked about when I got my period when I was 9 years old, and everybody knew. And then another more famous vlogger family, the girl was followed home by a strange man. They didn't like it. Their parents aren't making comments now. I've been talking a lot about this. And so then that's my other question of, how does it work when you're just the children of reality stars, whether it's Real Housewives, those kids don't get a salary. How does it work for Alec Baldwin? I would have much rather seen Hilaria join Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or one of those, and we not see a ton of the kids, and we just see her going on a trip, talking about Alec being an asshole, getting in a fight with someone. That I much, much would have preferred, but the money would not have been as great as just having your complete own show and exploiting all your kids. So that's my thoughts on it. Okay, another sexual harassment lawsuit. This time, Kanye West is being sued for sexual harassment by his ex-assistant. This is a very weird story. So this is a former executive and personal assistant. Her name is Lauren Piscotti, and she's filed a lawsuit against him alleging sexual harassment, wrongful termination, breach of contract, and creating a hostile work environment. So she claims that he hired her in July of 21, Kanye did, after meeting her during a development of his fashion line. She alleges that he initially offered her a salary of $1 million a year to delete her OnlyFans account because that's when he was like acting like a super Christian. She said she agreed to, however, he would have to pay her more. So she eventually got promoted and was making $4 million a year. And then she was fired in October of 2022 and offered a $3 million severance package, but was never paid. And that is when, shortly after, she decided to come with this lawsuit, which has a lot of receipts. And these receipts are very dirty, nasty. He would write her, he would text her, which almost sounds sort of lyrical, but very dirty, about how he wants to F her and he wants to see other men F her and all of this stuff. And she has those texts from him. He also sent her videos of him having sex with a model. He was at times when they were talking, he would be masturbating to her. This is all part of her lawsuit. She also said that she was helping to arrange like fivesomes with him and Bianca. And it is just really disgusting. Now he has responded and he is countersuing her. And he's suing, he's saying it's extortion. He's saying that Kanye saying that she, the ex-assistant, solicited him for sex and offered to give him sex on his birthday and insisted on expensive gifts and all these other things. And then when he fired her, this is her retaliation. He also said that she must have gotten into his phone, and she was there was a lot of unhinged conduct and all these. She was demanding unreasonable sums of cash. And his team goes on to accuse her of sending Kanye nudes and soliciting him for sex for herself. All of which the rep claims Ye denied that sex. So now they're both, I guess, saying that these texts or whatnot have been, are not real. It's easy to find if they were or not through the cloud and through, forensic technology. But it just is so gross. I just can't even imagine what the Kardashians are doing right now with this one. It's just embarrassing and gross. And from what I've read in her lawsuit, it sounds like she has more evidence than he. So good luck with that one. The new Traitors cast, you guys, is pretty juicy. Tom Sandoval. There's a ton of Traitors that come from Big Brother and Survivor, but because I am not as familiar with those shows and I don't talk about them that much on this show, I'm just going to focus on the cast that I know that you guys will be super into. Tom Sandoval of Vanderpump, Britney Spears' ex-husband, Sam, that hot piece of ass, is joining the Traitors. Chanel from Real Housewives of Dubai, Chrishell from Selling Sunset, which, she's great and fun to watch. Sierra, the beautiful girl from Summer House. Dolores from New Jersey, which we'll get into a lot of New Jersey scoop later on in the show. I have an incredible, juicy interview from someone who worked with one of the housewives on that show. Dorinda. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm not a traitor. I'm a faithful. And for you, Dolores, to be a housewife and accuse me of doing something I did not do. Richard knows I'm not a traitor. Richard knows. That's what I'm hoping for. They allow drinking in the Scottish castle, so that should be fun. Dylan Efron, who I think is Zac Efron's brother. It sounds like they just said from what sounds like a podcast. I don't know who Dylan Efron is. Gabby, who is a cute bachelorette from a couple years back, and Wells Adam, who is from Bachelor in Paradise, who married the actress from Modern Family. And he was on Bachelor like years ago, but he has managed to stay relevant and work on other shows. And he's pretty likable and cute. So I think it's a real fun cast. Remember, there was rumors that it was Paris and Nicole Richie. That obviously we know now that's not true, but I think that's a great cast. And I think, also Robin Dixon from Real Housewives of Potomac. She is not returning to Potomac, so I'm glad that she got a job. So there you go with that. Weight loss is never easy. It's always a journey. You go up, you go down. Some things work. You're spending a ton on the smoothies and you realize you're actually gaining weight from that. Everyone has a story, but that is why I'm so excited to tell you about RHO, because RHO provides access to the most popular weight loss shots on the market. The RHO Body Program pairs a weekly shot with healthy lifestyle changes so you can lose 15 to 20% of your weight in a year on average and actually keep it off. That's what is so exciting. Over 200,000 people have already chosen RHO to help them lose weight. RHO Body Program members have support throughout the process. RHO's Partners handles all of the insurance paperwork, making it so nice to help get medication covered. If eligible for medication, patients have access to their provider on demand for any questions, and you can sign up online from the comfort of your own home. This means no scheduling a doctor's appointment, no commute to the doctor's office, no waiting rooms, looking for a parking spot. Makes it so easy. Average weight loss is 15 to 20% in a year with healthy lifestyle changes. BMI and other eligibility criteria apply. Go to ro.co/juicy scoop. Sign up today and you'll pay just $99 for your first month and $145 a month after that. Medication costs are separate. That's ro.co/juicy scoop. Guys, I've been talking about OneSkin. I absolutely love it. I use it for my face, my eye, my body, and it works with all my other products, and it easily fits into my skincare routine, and it will for you too. If you have dry skin or you notice deeper wrinkles, crepiness, these are just a few of the visible signs of aging, and today's sponsor, OneSkin, knows all about it. Now, I'm not overly concerned with aesthetics, but I do want to keep my skin healthy as I get older, and that's why I'm loving their topical supplements that actually help your skin feel and behave younger, just like you feel inside. You want to look that way on the outside. Founded by an all-woman team of scientists, their OS01 peptide is scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. Don't just take my word for it. They've got over 4,000 five-star reviews for their full line of face, body, sun, and travel-size products, which I love. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code JUICY at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code JUICY. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support Juicy Scoop and tell them I sent you. Talking about New Jersey, let's just get into it, and then I'm going to do some more topics, and then we will get to my interview with a former hairstylist of the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So big news came a couple days ago. There will be no Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. This is very big news. With everything that's going on, you guys, let's just get into what's going on. We know about the reality reckoning. Recently, Caroline spoke again about her ongoing lawsuit suing Bravo, the production company. She's not suing Brandi Glanville because Brandi doesn't have any money. Saying that, however, Brandi sexually assaulted her while they were at the Ultimate Girls Trip. It was not what she wanted. It was an assault. It's traumatizing. And it's because they allowed it to happen and they encouraged it and had her drink. Brandi has been like, this has completely screwed up my life. This isn't true. This is bullshit. And what I have heard, whether it came from Brandi or other speculation, and I believe this is true, is this narrative and lawsuit coming from Caroline? Is it so we never see the Ultimate Girls Trip? Because what I have heard is that they got into talking about this situation with Caroline Manzo's family and her sister, Dina Manzo, who was on the first 2 seasons of Real Housewives of New Jersey. And there's stuff going on with that case, and she didn't want it to ever see the light of day. So therefore, by bringing this lawsuit, we will never see it. Meanwhile, Camille Grammer said this is such a shame. I'm on it. Gretchen Rossi from Real Housewives of OC is on it. It was such a great episode. It was such a great season. I can't believe no one's going to see it. I also have not heard of any new seasons of Ultimate Girls Trip being in production. Is that dead forever? What's going on? Going back to this being canceled. So a couple days ago it was announced it was canceled. Andy addressed it on his radio show saying, I think when you guys see the final episode, you're going to realize that we don't need a reunion. It's so explosive. It's so juicy. You are going to feel satisfied and full, and you won't care about a reunion. Now, a reunion, they pay these the housewives a lot of money to be on it. It's a big payday, which is why when they canceled the reunion for the Real Housewives of New York, many of the girls, all of the girls were pissed about it because based on their salary, like if you're a Luann, it's a couple $100,000. I remember Lisa Vanderpump saying that she gave up $250,000 by not going on that reunion because she was so disgusted with the Puppygate rumors. She did not want to be in that hot seat and was done defending herself and just refused to do it. So if you don't do it, it gets you in a lot of trouble, but you also miss out on money, which is why people do it, because they make it good. So by canceling Real Housewives of New York, and that was because Ebony was saying things that Ramona had said that were problematic and racist, and I think they just decided we don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. The climate of this kind of discussion is just too ugly and dark at this time. and they didn't have one. And the women were pissed because that was a big payday. By not doing it here, this has been such a weird season. We know that I thought the cast never filmed together, but we saw in the last episode that they had this lunch, and Melissa and Teresa, all of them were there. And Danielle, the new girl, was there, and she was like, "This is so comical to me, the way you guys are talking." It was crazy. And the new girl, Rachel, goes after Teresa, and they have this explosive moment because she feels Teresa has dug up her husband's ex-wife, who is a drug addict, who has been in prison for drugs and crimes and is completely estranged from her 16-year-old son, who Rachel, as a stepmother, has actually adopted. So she feels like going after and digging up this woman for content on this show is very hurtful to her family and what she's done as a stepmother. And Teresa's just like denying it. So that was what we saw on the last episode. I have talked a little bit about this on the show, and it is hard for people to grasp because they're just watching the show or maybe they don't care. But when I talk about Real Housewives stuff, I always want to present it in a way that if you're not watching the show, you will understand why it is juicy and why it's important. What is going on here is this. It has become very clear. The facts are out there. Teresa, who married Louis is her second husband. And Louis said on camera, "I'm friends with Bo Dietl. He's a top investigator, and I have files on every single one of you." Margaret has said that her own son, who never wanted to be part of any of the show, was contacted and threatened at work by Louis. It was Louis's phone number or someone he hired, that situation. That was in the last reunion. They come back and Margaret wants nothing to do with it. There is now this woman who had a very, very popular Twitter account called Melissa's Old Nose, which is very mean because it's mocking Melissa, Teresa's sister-in-law, who had a nose job. Who the fuck hasn't? I think every single person on this cast has had a nose job. They've certainly all had some form of plastic surgery, but whatever. That was the name of it. Obviously being a pro-Teresa account because Teresa and Melissa have always been at odds. You know, sometimes they get along a little bit, but they've never liked each other. They've always been at odds. She would put out stuff that would be very, very negative towards other cast members. She has now come completely clean, and she is doing interviews. And this girl, Melissa's Old Nose, is saying, "I was contacted by Jennifer Aydin, who then put me in contact with Teresa. And I was such a big fan of Teresa's that Teresa was like, here, you got to put this information out on the internet through your Twitter account. And then that way I can bring it up on camera and we can get these awful rumors out on camera about my castmates." Basically, that's it, which included finding Rachel Fuda's husband's ex-wife and getting ugly things that she's going to say about him, which she was not part of the show. There's no reason to have that woman be brought up. Going after Margaret's business, in which they found a little video of some little pilot reel she was doing from a long time ago where she jokingly called her son a now politically incorrect term, which was fine 15 years ago, not okay now. They were going to use that and hire a PR firm. And in that, they were asking this Melissa Old Nose person to write every single one of the stores that her products are in to say, "I have a handicapped child. I will no longer shop at Walmart, shop at Kohl's, wherever." So basically the goal was to take down Margaret's business that she has built for 20 years. That's out there. That is what this person is claiming. That is what she's alleging. And she's showing all these receipts on Twitter. The other thing that's so bizarre is that Louis was engaged to a couple people before Teresa. He had a wife, had 2 kids, then had like 2 broken engagements, then met Teresa. One of those broken engagements is this woman named Vanessa. And Vanessa is a therapist who now specializes in women breaking from narcissistic abuse partners. And she has come across. She's has a little media fame in that she ran a marathon in the wedding dress she was going to wear to marry Louis, but she doesn't say it. But she's like, articles were written about it. She came up with this lawsuit that when I heard about it, I thought it was crazy, where she said Louis has hired Bo Dietl to hire actresses to come in and act like clients of mine and ask questions about Louis to me, to get information about me. And therefore, I want a restraining order against Louis. He countered that and said, no, I need a restraining order against you. And I thought the whole thing seemed thirsty and weird, and I didn't know who to believe. According to this now Melissa's old nose, she is saying, no, this is all true. They told me they told me about this. I have receipts about it. All of this. It's so ugly and dark because it's going after his ex-fiance's business. It's going after Margaret's business, if in fact this is all true. And this Melissa old nose lady is saying, the thing that really drove Teresa to do this is if anyone said anything poorly about her husband, Louis, and people thinking he's shady, and because Margaret was vocal about it, and because people were discussing it. So the big thing that we're going to see is that Margaret actually does have contact with Vanessa, and Teresa's going to be like, look, see, they're in cahoots against me. And Margaret said, yeah, I talked to her. We talk to people that know people. This is New Jersey. It's not that weird to talk to someone's husband's ex-girlfriend, whatever. So it's a big mess. And watching it is not the juiciest season up until now. Not having a reunion, I think, is a smart move by Bravo. I think this is going to make people want to watch the next few episodes because they weren't. It went down way in ratings. And also, they're going to save money on not having the reunion. The way this works is this isn't like they're selling ads like the Super Bowl and all of a sudden NBC is going to cancel the Super Bowl and you're like, what? You'd miss out on so much ad money. That's not the way Bravo and cable and Peacock works. So no one's going to stop watching Bravo or give up their Peacock subscription because there isn't a 3-part New Jersey reunion. I personally think that this has become like Married to the Mob. And I think this is scary. I think with all the legal stuff, I think the producers are scared because I think there's stuff that in the reunion would come out that the producers knew about all this stuff going on behind the scenes to have juicy storylines, even though it's at the expense of people's families and children and businesses. And I think they just don't want any part of it. It's too risky and it's legally everything. It's just too dark and ugly. And I have no idea what's going to happen. I can't predict if everyone would come back, if no one's going to come back, if they're going to just scrap New Jersey for 2 years or something like they did with, what's the one that just came back? With Miami, just put it away for a while, let it breathe. I think I could see that happening because the stuff with Teresa and Louis is so dark and kind of scary. And so it's crazy. And then to add to the next scary, interesting thing. So Dina Manzo, who is Caroline Manzo from early seasons, and Caroline, who I just said, is the one who's suing Bravo now because she finally came back. She wasn't doing any Real Housewives stuff for years. She finally came back, went on the Ultimate Girls Trip, and alleged that Brandy grabbed her boobs and genitals. So her sister, they were very close. I interviewed Dina a few years ago. It was one of my best interviews. It's in the archives. There was a big age difference between Dina and Caroline. There was 10 kids in the family, and they were very close. And Dina had a daughter with someone else, and then she was single and living with Caroline and helping with Caroline's kids. And Caroline's husband, his brother Tommy, who may have been married before or not, started to show interest in Dina, and they fell in love. So Dina and Caroline are real sisters, and then they ended up both being married to real brothers. And those two brothers, Albie and Tommy, they own the brownstone, which all these events are at that were a big part of the thing. And now Caroline's boys both still work there. So Dina and Tommy were actually on an episode of My Big Fat Wedding or something on VH1 where they had this big wedding and yeah, he cheats a lot, but I'm still going to marry him. That was on there. So anyway, they end up doing the show and we never see Tommy in the little bit that he was on. We never see him. They end up separating and getting divorced. And she falls in love with this guy named David Canton. He ends up getting attacked in 2015 in a strip mall parking lot with some type of weapon. The police and prosecutors find out that Tommy Manzo, her soon-to-be ex-husband, they believed hired someone to do this act and hurt her boyfriend. And in payment for doing that, he had a big, beautiful wedding at the brownstone. Tommy's like, this isn't true. I have nothing to do with it. Then 2 years later in 2017, Dina and her fiance, David Canton, go back to their home in New Jersey. At this point, they're living in California after the 2015 attack. They go to Teresa's daughter's, I believe maybe a First Holy Communion because she's the godmother. They come home that night. 2 men are there. They physically attack both of them and facial injuries to both of them. And I believe that's when Dina then had to get a nose job. She's beautiful before, she's beautiful now, but she was physically attacked. Her engagement ring was stolen. And the cops look at cameras and everything and they figure out who did it. Both of those attacks, they believe Tommy Manzo was behind, that he racketeered it, meaning a mafia thing where he was the top guy. He made these people do it, but it was his doing. He says, no, I didn't do it. He gets arrested and to be put out on bail, he has character letters written about him. Caroline writes a letter in defense of her brother-in-law, former husband of her real sister that she's estranged from, saying he's a good guy, he's a hardworking man, whatever. And people are pretty disgusted. Also, Dolores of Real Housewives of New Jersey wrote a letter in defense of or supporting Tommy Manzo's character. He would never do this. He's an okay guy. He should be out on bail. Well, just yesterday, he was convicted. Now, this is where I'm confused, and I looked everywhere, and I couldn't find anything on it. He was charged with being behind both the 2015 account in the parking lot and also the 2017 account in which Dina was also a physical victim. However, according to what I've read, he was only convicted yesterday of being involved with the 2015 account. The guy that actually did it has already been sentenced doing 30 months. They found paperwork that proved that the guy had this big lavish wedding at the brownstone and didn't pay for it. That guy already did a plea deal, is doing his time. He could be looking up to, I heard 26 to 40 years. I still don't know what happened with the 2017, if that is got thrown out or if that is another trial, but that just went down yesterday. So in light of this ugliness tied to Caroline Manzo, tied to the reality reckoning, the lawsuit, Andy Cohen getting heat, all the ugliness of New Jersey, the reunion, legal stuff. I mean, that is why there's no reunion, people. That is why. And I don't know what this means for the state of New Jersey as far as coming back or not. So I hope you followed that. I hope you enjoyed the juiciness in which I told it. Finale of the Valley. Wow, you guys. This was Jax and Brittany. They open up the Jax bar. They seem to kind of be getting along during that episode. That's their finale. And then they say, and then 6 months later or something, 3 months later, they pick up the cameras again. And now we're in March. And that is when they announce her separation, that she has moved out, Brittany, and went to an Airbnb with their son, Cruz. And they pick up the cameras to have him have some conversations with some of the other cast members. And we see Brittany and Jax together. And this was juicy. She comes back and they're talking. And he, in a scene with one of the other cast members, one of the guys, he's like, I need therapy. I have a problem with depression. And I take it out on Brittany. And I made an appointment with a therapist. So then she comes back into the house with the cameraman there. And he said, I made an appointment for a therapist. Like, we can work this out. And she goes, when did you make the appointment? He goes, yesterday. And she's like, oh, when you got the call that cameras were coming back here is when you finally made a call to have a therapy appointment. That's when you did it. When you knew the cameras are going to be here so that you could put that out there. Not when I left. She'd already moved out. Not when I left. Not when you were trying to get me back. Now for the cameras. And he's just, trying to save himself in this. She is like, you took away my safe space. You made it that I had to leave because you yell at me and you rage text me and you treat me poorly. And in previous scenes, he's saying, she'll never leave. She'll never leave. We don't believe in divorce. She'll never leave. I think he truly believed she would never leave, and he didn't change, and he didn't treat her with respect, and he really didn't think she would. I really thought when I heard that she left, I thought that was smart. I thought that would be a wake-up call for him. I now believe I really don't think they're going to be able to get back together, and I think that is okay. I think that they will be better off as co-parents, and we can see it on the show. And, she's like, she has 1.7 million Instagram followers. She gets a lot of endorsements and brand deals for, fashion and fitness and wellness and stuff with kids. So she's like, I'm good. Like, I will be fine without you. And he then said, and then they go back to the confession and she goes, I don't even know that you'll go. He never went to the therapy appointment. He said, well, it was all the way in Malibu and I just didn't feel like going. And she's like, my point has been made. So I don't know where they are in filing. The other couple did file and they're getting divorced. They are not having a reunion, but I heard they picked up cameras right now. Like, they're starting to film again, which I think is really wise. So people are feeling good about Brittany standing up for herself. I think it's something good for people to see. I think them sharing all this will maybe help couples, will maybe give certain people a wake-up call about how not to treat their spouse. But then he wrote, I don't have it, but he did a tweet in the middle of the night at 3:41, Jax did, saying, why don't you ask who Brittany's been screwing or having sex with for the last 4 months? That was at 3:30 in the morning. Of course, Sleuth caught it. He has since removed it. So who knows if it's true or if he was spinning after reading all the negative comments about him and he came up with something which is true or not. But, we thought that the breakup might have been manufactured to get us interested in the Valley because no one was interested in the Valley before it started. And when we heard that they were broken up, that they were living separately, we watched it, but many of us thought it was a publicity stunt. Because just like Jax, we never thought Brittany would leave. We never thought she would. The girl put up with horrible behavior before they were married, him cheating, her knowing that he was cheating. She forgave him. And we just thought, she's that country, muffin who will just put up with it. And she's not. And I think that is kind of a good thing to see. And I wish them the best, that they could just be happier not being with each other. But I don't have a lot of hope for them getting back together. Elon Musk has, it's an Elon Musk Starlink hookup leaves a remote tribe addicted to porn. So finally this tribe got to have access to the internet. And now they're saying all these guys are like addicted to porn. They are not being social. They're taking on like the white man way of being like, I don't know, into video games. I don't know. It's kind of a funny article. I hope everybody's okay. Also, he's going to allow porn. X officially greenlights porn on platforms with a few caveats. which is it'll be like a special subscription type of thing that you have to be over 18, but you will be able to, they're going to be, so I'm curious to see where X will be in the next year or two, because I think it is going to be, I felt like it had a dip, and now I think more and more eyes will be on it. Here's the Jax tweet. It said, "You may want to ask Britney who she's been sleeping with for the past 4 months." And that was sent. This one says 5/14. You know what? I wonder if this is true. I wonder if he really did post it, because it's not on his page. The other one I saw showed 3/14, but maybe that would be based on where you're looking at it. Like if you're an East Coast or a West Coast person. I don't know. But it's gone now. So either mention or not. For our Vanderpump people, it'll follow up. They have still, Ariana and Tom Sandoval have still not settled on the house situation. He offered her $600,000, saying that would bring the house up to being worth $3.1 million, which is more than face value. She has said no, I guess. They are doing mediation. If they can't settle in mediation, then it will go to trial, but not till 2026. So I don't know what's going on with that, but they're still not settling. Okay. Also, our favorite Jo, she did a live and she put a sign saying "No Schwartz Zone." It's like, it's over, girl. Like, we get it. Schwartz is not trying to call you anymore. But yeah, she became a single white female. If you've never seen that movie, it's very juicy. It's from like 30 years ago. But like I said on my last episode, she found this hairdresser that's like 1 degree away from her, because it was a Kristen Doty friend, and basically, I believe, has copied everything about her. And it's on the last episode. Okay, this is sad, but apparently Brad Pitt is very sad that Shiloh, his daughter, now all the kids had Jolie Pitt as their last name. And Sahara, when she went to college, removed Pitt from it when she joined her sorority. So she's just Sahara Jolie. Maddox, I don't think he ever had Pitt, because she had adopted Maddox before she met Brad. Pax, I don't know where his name is. Vivian, so Shiloh now is Shiloh Jolie. She has removed Pitt from her name. Vivian, who is one of the twins, they have boy-girl twins together. Vivian is a co-producer on some play with her mom. And in that, it just says Vivian Jolie. And she's like maybe she's like 16, and I think Shiloh's like 19. And I don't know what's up with the boy. But so removing Pitt it's a real F you to the dad. According to page 6, J-Lo and Leah Remini used to be besties. And, they did movies together. They did talk shows together. Everyone loved their banter. When she married Ben, J-Lo, Leah Remini was not there. People thought they had a rift in their friendship. People wondered if Leah approved of this wedding. Other accounts were her daughter was going to college, and that was the move-in weekend, which I can completely relate to not wanting to move. I would not miss my only child or any child's move-in weekend, even if it was J-Lo's wedding. So even if J-Lo does a vow renewal and it is the weekend that I'm moving Brand, I'm going to just say it right now, and I somehow become friendly with them, even though I've talked a lot about them, and I get an invitation and it's J-Lo vow renewal with Ben Affleck, and it's the weekend that Brandon moves into Oregon, I'm going to tell you right now, I am not going, J-Lo, okay? So I didn't really believe that they had a riff. But now, according to page 6, they did have a riff, and it's because Leah did not think it was wise that she marry and get back together with Ben, or at least maybe not marry him. And now that they are going through struggles, allegedly, she has contacted her as a friend and is like, you know what? I'm here for you, J-Lo. Let's talk. So let's see what happens with that. Jay Shetty. Okay. I talked about Jay Shetty, this guru guy. I had the author here that wrote the article that exposed that he was a grifter full of shit. Now, He is now a new relationship advisor for Match. Yes. According to this, that was sent to me, date differently with Match and Jay Shetty. So now he is going to give you relationship advice and how do you find someone on Match. So it's another money grab for him. Probably because of this article, he is no longer getting as many people buying into his MLM coaching scheme or going to see him speak. So Match jumped on that. They probably aren't Juicy Scoopers, didn't know before they did the deal. Britney Spears was in Vegas and allegedly she was hanging out with her ex-fiance, Jason Trawick, which everyone always thought he was a nice, good guy. Remember, I told you I hung out with him one night and he was about to spill the tea about the relationship and then he realized he better not. So who knows what's going on there. Cher is dating Alexander Edwards, who goes by AE, and she said she defended him. There was a big fight that he was supposedly started the fight between Travis Scott and Tyga, which is interesting because Travis Scott and Tyga both dated Kylie Jenner, and AI also dated Amber Rose, who dated Kanye West. And then Cher, 80-year-old Cher, is there. And she's like, this isn't true. God. You know, I was watching Cher in on E! Called the movie called Burlesque. And I mean, she really did look great. But I was like, listen, her voice is so weird. I'm like, what if she was like a Hilaria Baldwin? And when no one's around, she's just like, hey, AI. What if she just like had an 80-year-old's voice and it's like, dear AI, why did you start a fight with so many people? And then when people are around, she just like clicks back into like her Cher impression, even though she's Cher. And she's like, God, we were at Cannes and whew, do you believe in love after love? I know I'm not doing it that well. It's been a really long time and I just slipped into a Jen Aniston, but her voice is so unique. It makes me wonder if that's really her voice. Okay, you guys, I really liked this interview I did. If you're interested how behind the scenes works, with Bravo, hair, makeup, glam. Sometimes they take advantage of these hair people, and there's been discussions about this on New Jersey, and I got the inside scoop. So let's go with this interview. Hello, and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have a juicy interview coming your way from New Jersey, because there's so much going on there. I have Karyn DeSimone. She is a hairdresser, stylist, has done it all, clear Jersey girl. How are you? Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Heather. Thank you so much for having me on. How are you guys?
Great. So
Good.
you reached out to me and then we talked a little bit on the phone. And,
Mm-hmm.
Jersey has been so crazy this season with the split cast
So
and the
much.
storylines being, put out, or the storylines almost being created, digging up dirt, having bloggers and people big on Twitter or whatever put out rumors that then can be said on camera, which then can be part of a storyline about the other cast members. And I wanted to talk to you because you are a hairstylist and you worked with one of the newer cast members, Danielle. And there's a lot of drama going on with Danielle that we saw in a previous episode where they bring this girl, Lena, out, who said, she did her hair for free or her makeup.
Yeah,
What was the
yeah,
story?
she's not her hairstylist. She actually just helped her and like opened her salon, touched up her extensions for her, and then she had gotten an invite to Danielle's charity event. And then she went and she showed her support and then Danielle was like, get her out. She was kicking everybody out, not just her. I also went to that charity event and she just wanted this VIP with all the housewives and everybody else like kind of watching like the center of the ring.
Okay, so you go to this.
But
Wait, so you go to this
so
event.
wait,
People pay to
yeah,
go to this event. I just want to get an
you pay.
idea
Well,
of what this was.
so yes, people pay to go to this charity event. You're holding the
And for
charity event.
extra money or for special people, there's a VIP section with
There's
what,
a
like their own food and
VIP.
drink. Okay.
Yeah, so
And
she had mentioned to me too, oh, we're gonna go on the VIP, go to the VIP, and then you get there and it's like it's not really VIP. She wanted the housewives in the center. Again, the glam and everybody, we're all working together. We're all Bravo, we're working together. We all feel, we're friends. Even some of the other cast, they brought their friends there, and she was like, wanted them out. So everybody had a bad taste in their mouth about that. I mean, Lena, naturally, she went there to support her. I mean, it's really, I mean, even me myself, I was like, you know what? Back to like, if we're going to get into a little backstory about me and
Yeah,
her.
let's get into your story of
Yeah.
how you met her and the services that you provided and
Yes.
why you were not too pleased today.
Honestly, we met by, I say by, it was like, the stars and the moon. We met in the gym. I happened to talk to her. And then the next day, I went into a salon and there she was, the first person to come sit in my chair. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
like, randomly, you're the girl from the gym. So whatever. We linked up. I said, listen, she's like, I have something in the works. I'm like, that's great. I was like, I'm interested. She's like, okay. So we said that we were going to start working together. Now remember, Danielle just started
Where
the
you would do her
season.
where you would do her hair for the
Yes.
days that she has a film crew
Yes,
coming
because
over.
how Bravo works is like when you're filming for the show, they're paying out of pocket the talent. So she had said to
For hair
me
and makeup
for
or
hair
any
and makeup.
yeah.
So
Okay.
again, she was a newbie. She wasn't, in the money. So we had made a great deal. So we thought, we're like, oh, we'll work together. I'll do your hair and you promote me. I was also new to social media, not new to hair, but new to social media, wanted to grow on all that. So we had like a really great thing going. I mean, she's getting her hair 2, 3 times a week. It's very expensive to do. So I figured, and
And
it's
you're doing it free or basically free, so
free.
in the hopes that when she not in the hopes, but in
Well,
the
that was
agreement,
the thing. The
in
in
the
the agreement was
agreement,
we're a team. We're going to grow together. You don't have the money for hair, and I want the promotion. Let's work together, and we'll grow together. Honestly, like I loved her too. Like we really vibed. Everything was really great, and I did more than just for the show. I did her daughter's hair. Did her Christmas cards. Did all these things that were off the show as well, in hopes that I'm growing with her as a team.
so when you would do those things like the Christmas cards, and it hasn't aired yet on the show, would she tag you then? Or was she like, I'm
So
gonna tag
that's
you
how
once
the
the show
show works,
airs?
and that's the tricky part.
Okay.
When they're filming and they're doing all that, none of those looks that I do could be aired till the show is aired.
Okay.
So it's like almost an IOU promotion on top of it.
Got
It's
it.
like, in good faith. But
When the show airs, I will post something like, you gotta watch the birthday party tonight, and then
yep,
a photo of her looking gorgeous, and then she would be like, thanks to
hair by
at Karen,
Karen.
yeah, for my
Exactly.
great like hair. I love a high pony. Thank you to Jenny Jones for my makeup, whatever.
Yep.
Or makeup tag.
Yeah,
You'd have to say thank you. Hair,
yes,
yes.
exactly. So the
Okay.
first season we did really well with this. When the show was aired, we would put out our work, again, get the promotion. She didn't have too much following then, but again, we were building together, because if it was as far as following, she didn't have much, but again, we're both in hopes of this growing relationship.
So then
And
between seasons, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
so again, the first season, it really did go pretty smooth. I did the work, then we posted when the season aired, and everything was good. We were good.
Okay,
Everything was
so
good.
then in between season 1 and 2 is Vegas BravoCon, correct?
Correct. Correct.
So you guys hadn't started filming New Jersey yet, or had you started filming when
We
BravoCon
had
happened?
when BravoCon came, yes, we actually started filming the second season at that point, because
And
we started in the summer.
she says to you, I want you to come to BravoCon to help me, for several days when I have to make all these appearances.
Absolutely.
And tell me about that experience, because we heard
Mm.
some rumblings about the
Oh,
mistreatment of glam on
BravoCon.
her end. So
I
what do you
don't,
have to say about that?
I don't want to say mistreatment, because I don't think at the time that, maybe, although now looking back, you're like, oh, maybe she was doing it purposely and didn't care. But I don't think she was trying to do it with care. I think she was trying to, budget within herself. Again, remember, she's a newbie. Everything with her is a budget. So she was looking for a hotel. She put us in. It was not on the strip. Everybody was on the strip. It wasn't in the best of neighborhoods. It really was. It was a crappy motel.
All
And
right.
at the time, she did recognize that it was, but even my husband, he was like, oh, let me get you out of there, move me, whatever. And I'm like, you know what? That's not going to look right. Now I'm moving myself. Like, let's just leave it be. But then, of course, the cast realized that we were in this hotel, and that,
You and the makeup artist.
Me and the makeup artist, correct.
And you guys were only doing her.
We were only doing her. We were
Okay.
Ubering. It was taking us like 30 minutes to get to them. We were getting up extra early just for Uber. Then coming back was a nightmare. At some point, like we were waiting hours for cabs. One time, even one of the cast members, she saw us and she's like, get in. Because we like looked like we were always stranded and lost, you know? It was a high traffic season in Vegas.
So
And
when that cast member said get in, is that when they started to kind of realize like, what the fuck is going on?
they kind of knew before, I believe, and that's why they were like, get in, because we're standing around now after working all day at the event, and we're standing around looking like for cabs, trying to hail them. Again, very high traffic time in Vegas. They had another event going on.
I mean, I was there, and anybody that went,
Oh
no,
God,
it was a nightmare. It was a
crazy.
nightmare to get around. So
Yeah, so like
you wanted to
even
be
that
close enough to walk really to the convention center.
exactly. Even that 30 minutes, which whatever, no traffic, not terrible, 20, 30 minutes, but with traffic, I mean, it took us an hour every day just to get back to the hotel.
And what were you paid for that weekend?
I was paid by from Bravo, so we were
Oh, that's
paid.
good.
I was paid the rate every day.
Okay.
And again, she did pick up the Uber. She didn't like flatly leave us in that sense, but she did know that the hotel was really not up to par. And once it was pretty far, like I said, she did.
So
She
wait,
just
so let me just get this straight for the people, like, and I don't know either. So if I was a housewife on Bravo and I was going to BravoCon and they're like, hey, we provide this budget for hair and makeup. Now, if I wanted to really stay within that budget, I would have to forgo my regular people and probably find someone who lived in Vegas that could do it.
correct.
Okay. So
And
she
that's
had
where
to
the
add to it.
controversy comes in. Exactly. Like that's where it comes in. She was
Yeah.
getting an allowance from them. She was paying the allowance. Things were coming out of her pocket, but at the same sense, the makeup girl is a whole nother story. I don't really know about her pay. That's a whole nother thing.
Okay.
But for me and my pay, she did give me the daily rate, and I mean, people were complaining. They're like, you know, she left BravoCon and flew to Disney. So again, she's spending. You like you said, if you don't have the money and budget it, then why are you living in this? And that's how I feel throughout our whole relationship now.
Yeah, I mean,
we have this thing that you shouldn't have got your hair done 3 times a week. People, I would love to get my makeup and hair done 3 times a week. Would you not?
well, I do. I mean, that's why I do my own hair and makeup because I
Exactly.
do
It's
have
an
to do. I
expense.
don't have lashes on today, but like I do have to do it, and I'm grateful that I could do it. But on the occasion that I've
Exactly.
gotten it done, like I went to a wedding in Vegas, someone reached out to me and was like, "I'll do your hair and makeup," and we worked out a price that was less than he would charge a stranger. But then I posted all about it, and he lived locally.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, as someone who goes and performs and goes to different cities, I most of the time do it myself, but I understand some women can't. But what I want to say, and then I want to get into more of it, is like there needs to be more of, I think, in education and decorum
Yep.
with these Bravo personalities, because this isn't 15 years ago, and you do want to have professional hair and makeup for a lot of it because everybody
Correct.
else does. And you know, this
Exactly.
isn't Real Housewives of OC 2008. Like, but if they're only paying you whatever, you know, 50,000 for the season, you can't be spending, you know, $500-600 for glam each
Correct.
time, which is the going rate for most times because it takes a couple hours and people have to come and use their eyelashes and everything. But but that's why it is great if you can say,
Well, that's
hey,
I said. I think she lucked out.
I'm going to get people to know who you are, be like, hey, you got a wedding in Jersey, you got to get my girl, blah, blah, blah.
Perfect.
So that's what you were
Exactly.
thinking
It
was
was
going to
really a
happen.
fair exchange and it was really great. And I think in the end, she was like foolish
So what happened? So
to,
then what happened? So BravoCon
um,
happens,
so
and some people
BravoCon happened.
get wind of that, and you did what you're kind of doing with me. You did share
Yes, I went
with some
on to
outlets,
share
and
with everybody that she wasn't abusing me. It wasn't an abuse case. You know, she's really good. Again, I work for Danielle. I love her. And that's the thing. Like people now, they think like, oh, I'm coming out and I'm trying to attack her character. So I'm not doing that. First of all, I'm doing this for promotion because what's fair is fair. That was the deal. She's filming all season 2. Everything's coming out now. I don't really think it's fair that my work is not being promoted at all.
so now why did
At
she
all.
suddenly cut you out and
We
is not tagging you now?
honestly, it became a ridiculous thing. In December, we went to, and I'm finally going to tell the story because everybody's like, why did this happen? And I'm like, in December, we had an industry party. One of the other hairstylists had thrown an industry party for all the glam and hair on the internet. We all go to that party, and the woman who threw it was Jennifer Aiden's hairstylist. Jennifer Aiden's hairstylist throws this event. I go, I'm going to support, and in walks Jen. Now, naturally, I know Jen. We've been working together. It's 2 years. Jen Aiden comes in. When Jennifer Aiden comes in, I said to Jen, I didn't even know it was her, to be honest. She lost a lot of weight since the last time I seen her. We didn't see each other in BravoCon. Casts were split. I hadn't seen her in a while. She looked at me and she said, hi. And I'm like, oh my God, Jen, hi, how are you? That was it. Danielle, the next day, I'm like, no, Jen had said to me, I hope you didn't get like in trouble for saying hello to me. And I'm like, what does that mean? I don't understand what that means. She's like, oh, nothing. And we went about the night. After I was like, let me talk to Danielle. And I called Danielle the next day and I'm like, Dan, guess who I saw at the industry party? And she's like, who? I'm like, Jennifer Aiden. And she was like, did you tell her to go F herself? And I was like, no. I was like, well, I was like, no, I thought she was joking. She's like, you should have told her to go F herself. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, no, I'm staying neutral. Well, you shouldn't stay neutral. I don't understand. What is everybody afraid of this girl? Like, I don't understand. My people, why are they mingling with her? And I'm like, I'm not mingling. We were at a public event. I said hello to her. And that was like the start of it. She was really mad, wanted me to tell her to go F herself. And after that, she felt I was being disloyal.
Okay, so you and Jennifer Aiden, let me just ask, you did not take a photo and Jennifer Aiden didn't post?
Yes, we didn't. We had taken a photo, not privately or nothing like that. There was a photo that I was in with the hair girl and Jen, but also at the time, Jen was doing like regular filming while everybody was dancing. She was tagging me. Now, mind you, at that time, my page had gotten hacked on Instagram. So I could have totally used Jen's tag. I'm like, all right, get back in the game again.
Wait. You said your paycheck got cut in half?
Yeah,
what do you mean?
No, my Instagram page was hacked.
Oh,
at that point, I had like 0 followers again. So now I'm like starting back from the beginning. And Jen's tagging me, and I'm like, oh, that would be great. But then I'm like, you know what? Danielle, I don't know. Let me talk with Danielle. I don't want to repost anything. So I didn't repost anything that Jen was putting up. I never put up the picture because I'm like, I don't know, let me talk to Danielle first. And like, why I was saying that is because I really could have used it. Your Instagram page is down. I mean, you want like Jen would be perfect to help you. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't repost anything. I didn't put anything up of it, which really hindsight, why would I do that? I mean, this is all a business, isn't it? Why is it being disloyal to when they make up next season? Where is that like? And then what? I told the woman to go F herself.
I mean, I feel like I think you were a casualty in this game that people play. Yeah. And it happens on housewife shows, but it happens in real life too, because everyone's on social media. Oh. And I've had it happen to me where I have a friend that's at an event with people that I am no longer associating with. And those people run up to my friend and like attack them and do a selfie. And they post it knowing that the few fans that are following this that care will be like, wow, Heather lost another friend. And so I can relate to, I do think Jen Aiden's intention of going up to you and talking to you was not because she was dying to be your friend. It was, ooh, I know there could be something between the two of them. I heard the BravoCon story. I know that Danielle has treated glam and people like that not great because she knew the Lena story. So I think Danielle was like, probably very heightened emotions in thinking like, who the fuck on this cast is my friend?
And you know what? I do get that. And like I said, even if Jen was trying to bust her chops a little and get her going, Danielle falling for it is the saddest story, because you don't throw somebody that 2 years is running around for you, running around for your family. I'm loyal. You're going to allow them to make you lose your team. You can't always get what I was giving her. And and like, it's not the repayment that should have been given to me. And after that, we talked. I even messaged her after we hung up on the phone call. I'm like, listen, Danielle, I really love you. I hope you understand why I said hello to her. And she's like, oh, I get it. And then after that, she never used me again. Months had passed. She told me the first time, she said, oh, we're going to do a confessional. I'm using somebody else. It's a business decision. Now I'm like, business decision? I just made a business decision for you for 2 years, pushing brides every appointment around so that when you need me, I'm free. My bank account was going like this in the hopes of the dream that was being sold. I said, oh, this is going to pay off. Fighting with my husband to the point of almost divorce, because he's like, where's the money? All your money's going down. What is this show bringing you? What are you doing with housewives? I'm like, oh, it's an investment, honey. It's an investment. Watch and see, watch and see. Well, when that crashed, forget it. He was even more wild than me. He's like, you're pushing your kids around, planning your vacations. I mean, it's a big deal. It was a big deal in our house.
I think it's a huge deal. And so,
oh God.
So then the deal was really sealed that she didn't keep her end of the bargain when
for no reason.
When we started to see the season, and I think there's like 5-6 episodes out, and there are some of the looks that you did, and she is not saying my hair.
Well, that's because, so now later on, fast forward, she winded up blocking me. She went on and was doing some kind of thing, and my husband was in the background commenting. I had no clue. I was out, whatever. I winded up finding out later on. So she blocked me because he was coming at her.
So she was like doing a live?
She was doing a live, and I think he was typing in the live. I really don't know. I wasn't even a part of it.
And what was he saying?
I don't know. He was saying, you put my wife in a cheap motel. This is the repayment you give it. She's running around. Like, he was really upset. He was upset for me too, you know? And then when I came home, I was fighting with him. Like, why would you do that? Because I don't really handle things the way he does. He's like, too bad. She has no right to treat you this way. Her husband winded up calling my husband.
Yeah.
And he's like, her husband's like, oh, we made a business decision. My husband's like, well, I'm making a business decision to tell your wife to go F herself. You know, like, that's what I'm making a family decision, he said. And I'm like, all right, again, not the way I handle things, but I understand. I mean, remember, this is really 2 years of us even fighting. It's a big deal.
I can relate to fighting with your spouse about your own business and trying to explain, like, you know, being a comedian. Sometimes my husband would be like, why are you doing this gig? And I'm like, because I don't care. Like, my first stand-up special, he was like, you're never going to make any money off this deal. And we sold it to Showtime. And I'm like, I don't care. It's a stand-up special. Like, people don't get when you're an artist, which you are. And when it's so much word of mouth and just notoriety, especially in the
that's what it's about
now, when you're, you know, social media is such a big part of it, and be on a reality show and these great looks that people want to, you know, copy that they see on TV. And wait, can you shut the door? Oh, that's outside. Never mind. Sorry. I thought it was a vacuum inside.
It's okay.
I thought there was a vacuum inside. Okay. Sorry. So anyway, I can relate to, you know, having those arguments with your
spouse. Because he's looking financially, the money's going down. But I'm feeling, I'm getting notoriety. I'm getting my publicity. Like, this is what it's about. Like, this is the steps.
Yeah.
This is the payoff and the steps to get where I want to go.
Well, I thought it was really interesting talking to you. And I was like, I want you to come on, because it's kind of a side of the show that viewers hear and, you know, see a little bit of it. They don't really understand. They don't really understand how payment works and how people can afford this. And back in the day, I remember, you know, like, one of my friends, Jenny Poulos, she didn't have hair and makeup for many years. And then by like season 5, she was like, either she asked for it in her contract or she just paid for it. Cause she was like, I can't handle looking at myself like anymore. And, so sorry, we have a gardener outside. It's like,
okay. I don't hear nothing.
Okay. Anyway, so I can relate to, you know, wanting that. Well, I mean, I think the lesson that can come from this for people in your
Yes,
industry.
that's why I'm doing this. Most
Yeah.
importantly, is for people to recognize what happened to me, make a contract. People will sell, social media, everybody wants in, people giving everything for free, thinking they're getting a big return. First of all, you have to promote and work with an artist more than once, twice, even three times to be anybody of anything in their clique. Get it in writing, especially if you did something like me where your work's not getting posted to after. I mean, look, it's all of season 2. She got her balls twisted. She blocked me. And now it's like I didn't do any of those hairstyles. And she's walking around with my art in her gallery for free. It's wrong, and
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get out there to promote it. I'm not here to bash her, to throw hate at her. I'm here to promote my work. I did the hair. Everybody's enjoying it. She looks like she's enjoying it on the episode. Why should I not be mentioned?
So now, did you do anybody else's? Are you still working with any of the Jersey
Yes.
girls?
Yes, I did. I've done Dolores. I haven't done her this season because now the season had aired. Yes, I did her during the season, which, mind you, fabulous. She actually had taken us for a little spin because there was a part where when I started working with Dolores, Danielle asked me, she's like, "Is she paying you? Is she paying you?" And it turned out I was like, yeah, I was like, Dolores would never let me do the hair for free. I couldn't even leave the house. Dolores is like, I got to pay you. I got to pay you. Like, so I guess, she's like, it's your time. It's your money. I said, okay, I'll even give you a little break and you promote me. And Dolores was like, no, charge me your full price and I'll promote you anyway. That's how it goes. So after that, Danielle got whiff of that. And then she started sending me, like after I would leave her house without asking, she would send me like a tip. She would tip me like, like $50 for my gas, my time, my whatever. Nowhere near, of course, what I charge, or anybody who knows hair would not be charged. So she did start sending that in good faith, but that was 2 seasons in, and I'm talking about halfway through second season. The whole first season, everything was for free, legit pro bono, and following her around all day. Not to mention what really gets me going now and like bothers me the most. Imagine you're doing her like a charity event. Perfect example. You're doing her glam. You're buying the ticket for the charity event. She's talking with the makeup artist that did her makeup 2 times, taking her to dinner while I'm doing her hair. They're talking about they're all going to go out to dinner, have such a great time. And she didn't even invite me because yet the makeup artist had hype. She wanted to be on the in crowd. What does she want to take me to dinner for? Who am I? I'm just her hair girl that I guess doesn't have a big following. Because that's another thing. People start treating people according to their following. I mean, I guess it's always been like that, right? Only we don't call it following, we call it fame. I mean, really, it's really disgusting. But like I said, it was more hurtful. I'm doing your hair for free, going to your son's communion and putting money in an envelope for you. Sucker here. Come on. And you can't promote me. She didn't get to a part yet where she feels bad for me. Come on.
So what do you think watching the show? What just as someone who's on the inside, but also watching it without like spoiling the episodes and getting yourself in trouble, what do you think the fate of New Jersey is? Because a lot of people, I have to say, are not that thrilled with the season. They don't really like the split cast. The ratings are down. It's a little boring. I mean, sorry.
I didn't like the split. I didn't like the split cast either. Even just working behind the scenes. I mean, you feel like people think it's, not, it's real. You feel the tension, you feel the splitness. And again, I mean, like I feel before, if you didn't have that thing, like she wanted me to say hi to Jen 8, not say hi to Jen 8, you wouldn't have these problems. What's the big deal if you're, if you're networking and being normal with people? Why does it have to be like teams? Why does it have to be a team?
But to me, this is interesting, and this is being authentic. In real life, if you weren't filming a show, you wouldn't be fake with your arch enemy, or you would be feeling tension. You would be insecure if this wasn't being filmed. So I appreciate that. I do believe New Jersey's being pretty authentic as far as their reactions.
They definitely are.
It's not that authentic to have someone on Twitter dig up some stuff and then act like you're reading it for the first time. I don't think that's authentic to put out rumors about people. But being not close is something, but I think
Yeah.
as a viewer, we miss what it was, and we miss that them together, and we don't want people to dislike
Absolutely.
each other.
Yeah,
We
there always
have
should
like a
be
funny remark,
resolution.
but yeah, we want them to like each other, because for so long they
Exactly.
were like, there was always the thing with Teresa and Melissa, but for a long time it was, copacetic, and they could get along, and they'd have their funny moments. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I think
I would have liked that myself, even
yeah,
behind the closed scenes. You do wish that it would be like
yeah,
BravoCon. You're two separate casts. It's like, are we even the same show here? It doesn't feel good. It
yeah.
doesn't.
Well,
But
I hope you continue. Hold on. Let me wait. Let me. Something just popped up. Oh, wait. Hold on. Drake. Wait. Hold on.
go ahead.
Oh, wait. Something just happened. Come here. It just I'm basically closing up, but they said you're running out of time, and I have to upgrade or something. Let me just close this real quick. Okay, we're gonna just finish it. Okay, sorry. Let me just. But I do think I'm glad that you shared this, because I do think this is the behind the scenes stuff that the Bravo fans kind of want. I'm sorry that that you were hurt and
Thank
it wasn't
you.
what you
Yeah.
expected, but obviously you're
Hmm.
super talented. I hope more
Thank you.
people choose to hire you, whether it's TV or their private events, or everything. So tell everybody where they can follow you and all your great styles and
Karyn
tips.
DeSimone on Instagram. Yeah, follow me, tips. I try to keep you guys interested. And again, very big in the bridal, but just like going, enjoying your events. Any special events, call me.
All right, thank you so much. This was
Thank you
awesome.
so much, Heather. You're
Thanks.
awesome.
All right, thanks, you guys. So much juicy scoop to be had on Patreon. You go to heathermcdonald.net. Of course, you get every episode that I've ever done. I think I'm going on 8 years of Patreon content. It's all there, and no commercials, and you will get it. If you have not joined yet, no one is disappointed, which is why no one leaves. And I don't want you to miss out. And so every new episode's every Friday, and all my live dates are there. Everything is at heathermcdonald.net. Thank you.